Hi everyone, I'm Chris Charnley. I'm a fourth year law student and I'm going to be talking about body parts, technology and the law. In the current climate of technology, which is advancing at such a rapid rate, we really need to know how this is going to affect us as humans right now, in the future, and even further in the future. Okay. So this is how we view ourselves in the law right now. Humans have lifted themselves away from everything else on the planet because we are the most dominant species. We personify things around us and view it in terms of how we are as humans. Moving on to the actual law. Persons is one of the three categories of Scots law. The second is property, which I'm going to talk about later. The third one is obligations, which is boring. I'm not going to talk about that at all. It's not just because I failed that exam. So persons is really just how we deal with relationships between people in the law. Divorce is a really good example of this. It's how you regulate divorces and marriages, that sort of thing. But we don't really know what constitutes a human person in the law. So I work backwards from body parts. If you keep taking away parts of the body and then considering what is left, what is it that constitutes the human person in the law, you'll eventually get to the brain. The brain is the part that lets us interact with the world through the central nervous system. We interact with the world, we make our mark on it essentially. So that we can say everything connected to the brain is part of our body. Property is a lot easier. It's essentially anything you can pick up, you can hold, you can move around. A phone's a really good example. So with the phone, you can own it, you can transfer it, you can destroy it. Okay. But obviously, that's not the end of things. If I did that to a puppy, someone would actually kill me. So this is what we really need to address in the law. What do we do with these things that are in between, especially when it's technology? So this is a pacemaker. It's surgically implanted into the body. About 25,000 people in the UK every year have one implanted into them. And it's attached to the body. But how does that interact with the law? How do we view pacemakers and other surgical equipment attached to us in the law? We don't really know. This is, an untested area of the law. Here's another one. Osteointegration. With normal prosthetics, what you have is a harness that's fitted over a stump. This causes a lot of issues. It causes rubbing, causes sores on the stump. With osteointegration, what you have is a metal rod, which we can see there, which is physically attached to the femur. Now, if we go back to pacemaker, that's physically attached to the heart. It controls the rhythm of the heart. So with osteointegration, what we have is essentially the same thing. Both of these we can say are attached to the skeleton, they're attached to the brain, so they're attached to us as people. They're part of our body. The law doesn't really know what to do with them right now. But with osteointegration, what you have here is the prosthetic attached to a stump, the stump of a metal rod that protrudes from the body. Everything below that stump you can consider property. It's not actually part of your body, but everything above that you can. Now, body hacking is a lot different. It's essentially completely unregulated. Here we've got 3 people who have had some LEDs implanted into their body, probably by use of a razor blade. That doesn't look like a particularly clean cut. And yeah, it's completely unregulated. We don't know what to do with these things in the law. But if we look back at osteointegration, that's just the exact same as that in principle. And body hacking is the exact same as anything else like that. It's, if you put a breast implant in, that's part of your body. Why shouldn't that be? Okay. Some of you who are familiar with Boston Dynamics have probably seen this in the news recently. The one on the right can open that door. It's not just been opened for it and it's holding it open. But how does the law view this? We don't know. We haven't even broached this subject yet. Because the way that we would normally see this is it's just a machine. It's just something that is capable of performing a task. But that thing is really, really cute. I want one, and my girlfriend won't let me have one. Please bully her into letting me have one. So if we can personify something like that, then can we view it as something that's between property and persons? Is it essentially something that's not either of them, but at the same time both? You might remember this slide from earlier. Hands up how many people thought this was a human person. Only would be surprised to know that's actually an android. This is Erica. She is developed and built in Kyoto. She is an android. She's a computer that looks like a human. She can interact with people around her, she can ask questions, she can know who's in the room with her. And even the terminology I'm using right now, I'm calling her she. It's a machine, but it looks like a woman. So where do we put Erica in the law? We still don't know. We haven't talked about autonomous robots in the law yet. We haven't worked out what to do with body hacking. We still don't know what to do with body parts and prosthetics. So how do we know what to do with Erica? Now in the future, we're probably going to have more and more advanced artificial intelligences. We don't know exactly how this is going to go. They're probably going to get more and more advanced to the point where they can learn and adapt and become essentially personalities in their own right. How are we going to view that in the law is something we don't even know. It's something that technology doesn't know right now, but in the future we will have to have that conversation. Thank you.